So hello everyone, welcome to Veloso Tours webinar. This time we chose Bolivia. We are fascinated with Bolivia. It's the heartland of Latin America. And as you will see, it has wonderful culture, landscapes, and in general, Bolivia, although you can go there on its own, of course, but we have found that in general, Bolivia is combined with other countries. So we have also featured the landmark tours, which is our multi-country itineraries. And we're going to follow an itinerary across South America from Rio to Lima, through the center, through Bolivia, and then we'll finish off with a little trip to Quito for the Galapagos. We're going to have reports from several of our guides. So my name is Paulo Veloso, and I'm the Managing Director of Veloso Tours. I will have an introduction for Veloso Tours and the principles and benefits of landmark tours. And then my colleague Nick is going to take us on a journey across South America on the Virachocha tour. And in that process, we will have reports from a number of destinations in Latin America with our guides there to show us the situation as it is there now. And then at the end, we will just briefly provide some examples of itineraries, landmark tour itineraries across South America, and an update on the flight situation to travel to Latin America at the moment, although this is an evolving situation. And then we'll have questions and answers at the end. So I would like you to use the chat to send any questions to Berenice, and she will collate the questions. I would also ask you to use the Zoom view to go into speaker view so that you can follow all the speakers. And also would like you to be a bit patient if there are any technical issues, because as we can see, with this new technology, we are being very ambitious to go live to all these different destinations. So we will resolve. We've done this before, and there weren't any issues, and we resolved everything. So hopefully it will be the same today. Veloso Tours' uniqueness, we have been operating for over 20 years. We specialize in private individual tours and authentic experiences. What I mean by authentic experiences is that for each destination, we would like to provide an in-depth experience of each destination. We place a lot of emphasis on our guides, and we do this by asking you your interests and then sending those to the guides so that they can adapt the excursions to provide an understanding of local life, people, and customs. Now, in the last year or so, we have produced a new brochure for Latin America, and we had time to go through all our images and made numerous improvements to our website, new tours, new destinations. And we've also developed a feature where you can select the departure date and then download all the itineraries so that you can have a day-by-day summary, and you can have in your computer a description and see where you would be each day and the duration. And this applies to all the itineraries that we have in our brochure: Latin America, China, and India. We'll show that in a bit more detail later on. We're not going to talk much about the situation with COVID, of course, because it's always changing, and it'll be whatever it is at the time when you decide to travel. The only thing that we'd like to mention is that you can make bookings and receive a confirmation. That's your sort of advanced registration, and no deposit is payable until it's permitted to travel to that destination. So however long it takes, as long as when it's possible and it's permitted, then you can pay a deposit, and then you can pay the balance close to the departure time and have a refund if it's impossible to travel. And also wanted to mention that there is travel insurance to cover COVID as well. So that's good. Landmark tours are itineraries that combine more than one country. And these we have found is particularly useful because so many countries complement each other. They don't really compete with each other because they're all different. So if you are in one place, then you can easily go to another since it's an opportunity to see contrasting cultures and different landscapes. There are a number of sort of logical routes to cross between countries, which can be both combining flights and also overland travel. And this provides an overview where you can incorporate your special interests. So if you are in one place, you can also take the opportunity to go somewhere else and perhaps then go to another country or to those countries for a more in-depth experience. So this is a good way to have an overview of travel and then return maybe at another time. These are some examples of the itineraries that we have. We're not going to go through all of them because there's quite a few, but you can look at these different destinations and experiment, as I mentioned, with the download. So now I would like to go to my colleague, Nick, who's going to take us on a journey across South America. It's what we call our Virachocha tour, and that takes us from Rio to Lima via Bolivia. So Nick, take it away.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm just going to share my screen. One moment. Here we go. The Virachocha tour is our cross-continent tour across South America, journeying really through the heartland of the Andes, through the center of South America, and taking in a large part of Bolivia, as Paolo mentioned. We start off by flying to Rio, where we spend 3 nights. Rio is, of course, famous for its carnival, but it's actually a year-round destination, recognizable, of course, for Christ the Redeemer, as you can see here, the wonderful Copacabana beach, and the lovely view over the beach that you can have from certain hotels. Beaches like Ipanema and the Sugarloaf Mountain, where you can take the cable car right to the top. But there are many more attractions to Rio, and it's really worthwhile having an expert guide like one of ours to take you behind the scenes in Rio, to some of the art museums or the colourful steps that you can see here. Really, one of the things that I might found most interesting was the historic side of Rio and the history of the Portuguese royal family, which you can find about there. There are excellent art museums and gardens that you can see here. The garden, for example, overlooking the lagoon. This here is an art foundation that you can also visit, and there's a lovely cafe there where you can have lunch. This is the redeveloped port area where they've made a nice square and also an excellent museum. And there's also quite a lot of public art as well, very colourful and lively city. And this, for example, is an excellent place, a restaurant where you can have a view over the top of the city and really appreciate the stunning natural surroundings with the granite peaks which rise out of the bay, as you can see here, the absolute stunning natural setting of Rio. Luana is one of our expert guides in Rio. We've been working with her for some time now, and we're going to go live to Luana, who's going to show us a little bit of what's going on right now on the street in Rio. Hello, Luana. Luana, come in.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yeah. Can you see me?
No, we're not getting any video. Yes.
Just a minute. Yeah, now it is, no?
Yes.
Can you see? Oh, good. Let me just...
It's all good now, Luana.
It's good.
Yes.
All right. Well, hello everyone. I'm Luana, Veloso tour in Rio, and I'd like to show you this. I'm at the Fairmont Hotel, and look how beautiful day we having. This is Copacabana Beach. At the very beginning, or the end for us here,
Luana,
is the Sugarloaf Mountain, a
can you-
landmark for us.
on the horizontal. Can you put the phone on the
Oh,
horizontal
sorry.
so you can see?
Yes,
Thank you.
better, huh? And this is, as I was saying, Copacabana Beach with Sugarloaf Mountain right there at the end or the beginning, actually, and the entrance of the bay. More to the right, we have a fort, the Copacabana Fort, where I'm going to take you as I go down, cross the street, and we're going to go through a fish market. I'll show you all that. Here I am at the Fairmont Hotel. This is their pool. Also a breakfast area on the other side. Nice place to relax. It's open also for people that are not staying at the hotel for lunch, breakfast. I'm going to take the elevator now, so if the connection is cut off, just a few seconds, I'll be back. I'll show you the city with pretty much normal. Everybody's out. Here we are, getting out. I mean, I say normal, but of course with all the protocols, masks and all that, but traffic is back. That's the not so good part of it, but the restaurants are open, people are out at the streets. I'm gonna show you how Copacabana Beach is pretty much alive. It's a spot for people to exercise as well. I'm going to cross here and show you. It's lovely, just crossing the street here and you reach the beach. A spot here, this specific space, lots of stand-up paddle courses. People come for that. See, of course, today is Thursday, so not so busy as weekends, but you can see people around here, right? Good location right there, going on that side. You're going to reach Ipanema. It's another lovely neighborhood to stay or just visit. Here we have one of our famous musicians, Caymmi. Brazil is known for its music as well. Copacabana sidewalk with the waves, the black and white waves, very iconic. So one of our postcards. And this is, believe me, it's winter. Sorry. Showing you now the fisherman village. People are here out selling coconut water. Sometimes we have vendors around here, so selling things. And this specific spot is interesting because this is where the fishermen bring all the fish early in the morning. So very early, you can come here, buy some really fresh seafood, and somehow feels, of course you have to come to feel it, trying to describe here, feels like in a small village, although you are in Rio, a 7 million people city. But around here, it's still very like this, trying to describe Of course, all sold out. This is where the fish, the seafood stays and where they display it. Hola. Everybody's waiting for you, see? So, but it's all sold out. This is where they display the seafood. Some that are left. We have a little shop here where you can still find some. Bom dia. And here we go. I'm going to show you now. I'll enter the fort, the Copacabana Fort, and show you a bit of that. It's open for visitation. We have some nice cafes there. This cycle path here for the bikes still goes very far to Ipanema, Leblon, or going to city center, so people enjoy that. It's another nice thing to do, rent some bikes.
Luana, I think you are on mute. Can you unmute yourself? Sorry.
Yes, you can hear me
Here we
now,
go.
right?
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, sorry, you were on mute.
All right. Sorry. Experiencing some technical problems. So by protocol, as we enter in any place in Rio now, we have to test our temperature. And this is the Fort Copacabana we're entering. It's a lovely visit, combines history and nature. We have, I'll show you how lovely it is by the water there. We're gonna pass by the entrance. As you visit, we go telling the history behind it. And it's really in a very nice area in between Copacabana and Ipanema. Here we have a lovely square where sometimes people sit, enjoy. Even though it's Thursday, there's some bit of queue, buying tickets to get in. I already got mine, so we can just right away enter. And I'll show you a bit of what's inside. We're pretty much ready for tourism in Rio. We just waiting for people to decide to come. So I hope this is possibility of destination for you. We have in Rio lots of historical tours, but also nature, cultural, very diverse. And see, we can combine the history of being visiting a fort and also the beach, outstanding views. What a lovely day. This is winter, believe me. Experiencing today 29 degrees Celsius. And we are in the middle of our winter. So we pretty much have sun all year long. Of course, it rains sometimes. Of course, we have the nature love it. We need it, but still warm and nice. Makes it a very nice visit. So we have some cafes where we can sit down to enjoy and contemplate this beautiful view, this pleasant place. There's this breeze coming. So it's very, very pleasant to be here. It's a pleasure to do this. But of course, you have to come to really experience it. We have a branch of Café Colombo, which is a lovely cafe located in the city center. We visited as part of our historical tour. And here they have a branch with lots of tables outside. Here we always prefer to be outside to enjoy the weather. See, Thursday, and look how it is. Almost every table is taken. So, see, all the umbrellas. We have another cafe down there. This is a little square, little shop. Let me show you once more. Trying to get in between the tables here. Just to show you a bit more of this. Isn't it lovely? I don't know if you can hear the sound of the sea, but I can tell you that it's lovely to be here. Well, I will continue down the road there, but I will cut off my audio for you to continue with the presentation. I will turn the video around just to show you my face a little bit. Hello, I'm Luana, and I'm waiting for you with open arms. I hope you'll come, and I can take you around and show you the wonderful city. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Luana. Good to see Rio there, looking stunning. I wish our summer was as nice as their winter. And you can see, of course, very friendly people there in Brazil, ready to welcome tourism again. Life going very much back to normal already, and so worth considering if you wanted to take a trip this autumn or winter. We are going to move ahead with our itinerary. The next stop on the Virachocha tour is Iguassu Falls. Short flight from Rio, where we spend one night. Iguassu Falls, for those of you who don't know, is an enormous series of waterfalls where a river falls over a horseshoe-shaped fault surrounded by this lush tropical forest. And you can see here just the extensive nature of the falls, how they fall through the forest, all in these different areas, providing, not just a sort of one view, but so many different views and angles to really appreciate them from. The falls sit on the border between Argentina and Brazil, and it's absolutely worth visiting both sides. There are national parks, separate national parks on both sides, and you have very different experience on one side from the other. So it's worth visiting both sides, to walk through the forest, along the trails. In some places possible to get quite close to the falls, as you can see here. There are lots of trails, walkways, so that you can get to the upper part of the falls as well, and see down over it, the incredible mist that rises off the falls there, you can see. And for the more hardy or adventurous, you can even take boat trips that take you to the near the edge of the lower part of the falls. Surrounded by tropical forest, and there is a considerable amount of wildlife to be seen there, both birds and monkeys and smaller mammals, and so there's plenty to do there on your one night stay. One night is effectively a half day on the day that you arrive and a half day on the day that you leave, and that can be extended to stay for 2 nights if you prefer as well. Flying on from Iguassu then down to the city of Buenos Aires, which is in the capital of Argentina, of course, and there we spend 3 nights. Buenos Aires is a very cultural, European-style city with a distinctive Latin buzz about it. It's very well known for its refined architecture. You can see here some of the public art and sculptures, and this very French-style architecture, for which reason it's actually known as the Paris of South America. But not only that, you also have the colourful dockworkers district of La Boca, a little distance away from the centre, but also artistic, laid-back Palermo with wonderful cafes, restaurants and bars where you can take a seat outside, for example, and watch the world go by and see local life. There are also some lovely parks, and here you can see the rose gardens not too far away from Palermo. One of my particular favourites is the tango. There are excellent tango shows, or for people who would like to learn to dance, there are tango lessons and schools that you can visit, but the shows are very good, and you can even enjoy some of the excellent steak and red wine that Argentina is famous for. They're also great fans of polo and all sorts of equestrian sport in Argentina, and you can visit, if you go at the right time of year, the Polo Championships, which is held at the field that's just outside the city centre. You can see the city skyline there behind, and if you're particularly keen on polo or horses, that is another very different experience that you can have there. Our preferred guide in Buenos Aires is Emiliano. We've been working with him for a number of years, and we're actually going to go live to Emiliano now, who is in Buenos Aires, and he's going to show us a little bit of local life and what's happening on the street there. Hello, Emiliano.
Hi, hello Nick, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello everyone, how are you? My name is Emiliano, as Nick said, and I'm here in Buenos Aires, where not only do I live, but I've also been guiding for the last 20 years, during which time I really got to know what is the Veloso company philosophy and the traveler's profile. So before I start this short walk around Recoleta, which is the little Paris in South America, I would like to show you one of the selected hotels, which is in this area. This is the Casa Sur. As you can see, very stylish, very elegant. This is the breakfast area, where you would be getting your morning breakfast. And this is the mezzanine floor, where the hotel invite people, treat people with a wine tasting before outing this area, which is full of bars, cafes, steak houses, etc., etc. So we say goodbye to these young girls at the hotel, and we continue our short introduction to the surroundings. I really would like to show you what is the typical Veloso traveler introduction to the city, which is the perfect moment for clarify questions and to get up your bearings. Actually, we start this walk from the hotel to the little corner located 2 blocks away, where a traditional cafe called La Biela is located. This is when we clarify any questions you may have, when we actually go over the inclusions of your program, or even talk about optional activities which we have on offer. This time actually gave us the possibility to reinvent ourselves, and we are coming up with many new programs, many new activities, such as walking tours, getting to different landmarks of the city, bike tours, themed tours, basically personalized tours. Actually, we have this idea of personalization and uniqueness in order to make the most of your stay in Buenos Aires. This is the peak of our winter in the southern hemisphere, and actually Buenos Aires is very far south, different from the rest of the destinations you will be seeing today. I would like to mention that people are going back to normal in all aspects of life. The vaccination campaign is speeding up. We are making huge progress. Here you can see, even in the winter, people are having fun, relaxing this beautiful sunny day. Kids are going back to school. I mean, we are making huge progress. Everything seems to be clearing up. Here you can see different cafes, actually steak houses, which are very traditional. Here we are famous for our beef, of course. We are even in a big city with an European style. We are also within the Pampas. The Pampas is home to the legendary gaucho. So from Buenos Aires, we also organize activities to get to see this Pampa life, gaucho life, to get to know its culture. We also go for other activities outside the city, such as the Paraná River Delta, which is a big archipelago of islands. as big as Belgium. We also have the possibility to cross the Rio de la Plata or River Plate, which is separating our country from Uruguay. And after traveling 1 hour by ferry, we get to Colonia del Sacramento, which is a very interesting traditional place, combining the influences of the Portuguese and the Spanish crown. So this is actually something I would like to show you. I mean, this is a ice cream show. Oh, look at this, dog walkers. Have you ever seen that? So you see, even dogs are going back to normal, you know? So this is Volta. Look at this. This is probably means nothing to you, but for us it's very important. This is where we get the dulce de leche ice cream. If you don't know what dulce de leche is, okay, so you don't know what you are missing. So this is dulce de leche, the most creamy, richest, and most delicious preparation you will ever have in your life. Similar to Nutella or cream caramel, but a million times better. So it can be used to flavor toast, even churros, to flavor ice creams, of course, but especially to prepare the alfajor, which is a local preparation, you know. And this is actually what traveling is all about, getting to know local specialties, interacting with the local people, you know, visiting new places, traveling, build bridges between different countries. And here we are more than ready to show you all the beauty of the city. This is what I would like to, I mean, actually this is the place where we sit down for a coffee. Today, even in the winter, it's a lovely sunny day, as you can see. Everybody's outside, even wearing different layers. Even these two guys, Galvez, that used to come here because la biela means corn rod, and it's part of the engine of a car. So not only these two brothers, that's probably, I mean, you may have heard of him. He was 5 times Formula One world champion. So this is La Biela, one of the many traditional cafes we have in the city. So we were talking about this European character, and you can see a little bit of an around this area. Recoleta is also full of ornamental trees, sorry, such as these huge, humongous rubber trees. The colonial style building. In Paris and the Staglieno Cemetery in Italy. And actually, funerary art is gaining popularity. So visiting the cemetery is like getting to know the history of our country. So secrets my city has to offer. So I really look forward to welcoming you soon in Buenos Aires. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Emiliano. Great to see you there and see that, you know, everyone out on the street in Buenos Aires, life very much going back to normal. And I hate to say it again, but their winter weather is better than our summer, clearly. So definitely worth considering Buenos Aires, such a wonderful cultural city with so much to do, from arts and culture to the trips out to the Pampa, to visit farms and so forth that Emiliano mentioned. Moving on in our itinerary, we are flying north from Buenos Aires down here up to Sucre via Santa Cruz, where we spend 4 nights in total. Sucre is a wonderful, charming colonial city, UNESCO World Heritage Site, located at about 2,800 meters above sea level, so in the sort of low mountainous area. But what that means is that it has a pleasant climate all year round, not too hot and yet not too cold from the altitude. So very pleasant all year round. And what you'll see in Sucre is the huge wealth of colonial style Spanish buildings, a lot of them whitewashed, these wonderful tiled roofs, for example, buildings with patios, churches with these wonderful
Consulta, ¿dónde hay baño, señor?
towers. Thank you. And what I particularly found about Sucre when I was there a couple of years ago was that it's very well maintained, but not redeveloped. And so what you have is actually a very accurate portrayal of what the city centre was like, you know, several hundred years ago. And you see this throughout still the architecture. These are some of the church towers. This is the Casa de la Libertad, where Bolivian independence was declared several hundred years ago. And you feel the history just running throughout the streets of Sucre. Makes it a wonderful place to visit. And there are lots of things to do there as well, not only in the city centre, but also outside. Here you see some of the parks, for example, where you can just sit and watch local life passing by. Another one of the lovely parks there, not far from the city centre. Going outside of the city, there's a village called Tarabuco, where they have a very famous Sunday market, and you can see people there in their traditional dress. It's a very large market where they sell all sorts of things, from food to household items, and you can see people there with their traditional dress and weavings, selling all sorts of things, weavings here, and even you know, a rudimentary butcher there on the right hand side. Very well known for textiles as well and weaving, and it is possible to see people weaving by hand, as you see here, with these very traditional you know, bright Bolivian colours, and it's possible to see them both in the act of weaving and also see and purchase the finished articles, which you can see here in incredibly elaborate patterns. From Sucre, we're also going to take a day trip to Potosi, which is high up in the mountains, about 4,000 meters above sea level, so you do feel a considerable rise in the altitude. Maybe have a slight shortness of breath there. Here you see wonderful colonial architecture. Potosi was made rich by, as you can see here, what's called the Cerro Rico, the rich mountain, where there was a very rich, still is, a very rich vein of silver, which made the city immensely rich during colonial times, and what made it, at one point, the second largest city in the whole of the Americas, and that in turn led to a whole wealth of building and this wonderful colonial architecture that you can see throughout. We are going to go live now to our guide in Sucre, Rosemary, who's going to show us a little bit of what's happening on the street and explain to us what life is like there in Sucre. Hello, Rosemary. Come in, Rosemary. We can't hear you.
I think she's here, but she's on mute. Here we go.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I am Rosemary. I am a guide from Bolivia, and I work for Veloso Tours. In this occasion, I want to show you some parts of the city, because in Sucre today we have many places to visit. I am exactly on the top of the terrace of the best colonial hotel, from where you can have a beautiful view. I want to show you, excuse me. Yeah, okay. So these are the mountains. Behind these mountains, we can have Tarabuco, where you can visit and see the textiles markets, which is the best thing on the weekends in Sucre. Then we have on this other side, high mountains also, which is the Cordillera of Los Frailes. And behind these mountains, you can visit another culture, which is very different than Tarabuco. And behind those hills also, we have many places to visit, like Maragua, where we have a crater, we have dinosaur prints, we have paintings on the rock. So we have many things to do around Sucre, no? But I am exactly in the center of the colonial part of Sucre, where we have this colonial hotel. This colonial hotel, the best one, which is called Parador Santa Maria. We are going to go down the steps to see the hotel. This hotel was built exactly in the house where was functioning the real audience, which was like the royal court in the colonial period. So the Spaniards were living here, and they built these beautiful houses. And until now, we have to preserve this style because Sucre was nominated the cultural heritage of the humanity. And that's why in this hotel, they are maintaining these colonial styles, beginning from the roof and continuing with the balconies, no? And the rooms are very comfortable. They have always different symbols that remember us the colonial style. I am in the area of the swimming pool. We have the spa. So this hotel is very complete, no? And it's beautiful. You could come here to enjoy very much. And the interesting thing is that we are in the center of the colonial part of Sucre, where always we visit many museums. We have many things to visit here, no? So we are going to the first courtyard. We have this nice blue courtyard, you see, because this color is a symbol of the high society during the colonial time. So they recover also the color of these buildings. No? Going down the steps, we have the lobby, we have a museum, the name is Watanay, where they show us many objects which they discovered in this house. Because as I was telling you, this house was recovered as it was in the colonial time. Now you see, the dining room is in front. This is the lobby. Look, can you see the ceiling? So either the ceiling they discovered, no, because it was covered before. As I told you, as a heritage, we must to preserve the colonial style. Look at this virgin in Sucre, as it was called the Silver City of America. We preserve these objects, you see, the frame is made of silver. So all of these beautiful things you can see in this hotel, which is very, very beautiful, and you will be very welcome in this hotel. So I'm continue showing you the city. You can see many nice balconies. Most of them were changed, but only until the nomination of a cultural heritage. Since that we must to protect this colonial city, we cannot change the style. So whenever the people wants to build here a house, they need a permission, but only they can change the style inside. Outside, we must to preserve the colonial style. So you can see many balconies, many nice streets, no? And going down here, we will go to the main square of Sucre, which is called Plaza de Armas also. This square has the name of 25th of May square, because in this square, we had the first cry of independence. Also, around the main square, we have the main buildings of the city, like the cathedral, like the governor house, like the Liberty House, which is a historical museum. So we have nice restaurants also. Here we have one, La Posada restaurant, where you can eat in the colonial courtyard, you see. So the colonial architect here is full because we try to maintain. Only the balconies, as I told you, were changed more, you see. These are iron balconies. This part is the front of the hotel where we were. This is the university where we can have postgrades. Oh? So all of the colonial houses in this area were converted in banks, in schools, museums. Here I want to show you the best souvenir, or the main souvenir from Sucre. This is the chocolate. The name is Para Ti, for you. So here you can have the best chocolates, see, which are made with the cacao that comes from the jungle of Bolivia, but they are made here, no? So you will be welcome here in this shop also to try the chocolate. Continue with the visit along the streets of Sucre. We have the big tower of the cathedral on top with the watch, which was carried from England. So we have here also some influence from Europe, apart from Spain, no? The iron balconies from France, this kind of water from England, and of course the colonial style continuing. In all, the ladies selling here, so they are local people, no? They sell some fruits and so on in the streets. This is the main square. As I told you, the name 25th of May. No? So in the middle of the main square, we have the statue of Antonio José, who was the first president of Bolivia. And in front, we have with the flag, the Bolivian flag, that is the house, which was the palace of the government when the government was functioning here in La Paz. Sucre is still the official capital from Bolivia. No? This is a very quiet city. We don't have many inhabitants. We have more young people because of the first university of Bolivia, the San Francisco Javier. So this is not very expensive. That's why many students come from around Sucre to study here. No? And also, this university is very famous because it was the first one, and there were educated many people of the history of Bolivia, the South America, El Alto Peru, which was in the colonial period Bolivia. No? So you can look here, the frame of Bolivia with the condor on top, with the colors of the flag. No? So this house is very beautiful. it was restored. Of course, they changed the style, which was the colonial time, and today has like an eclectic style, different styles. It was built by Antonio Camponovo, an Italian architect. This architect was too much in Sucre, building many nice houses, like a castle. We have a castle at 8 kilometers from Sucre, so where you can see these different styles. And the last important building around the main square is this house, the Liberty House. As I told you, this house was very important. It was built in the colonial house of the Jesuits, no? All the block belonged to the Jesuits. And later it became the university, the San Francisco Javier here. And later here was signed the Declaration of the Independence. So today it's only a historical museum because the government is in La Paz, but in history, it's the most important place for us, okay? So this is the colonial courtyard, also of the Liberty House. And well, I think I have to say goodbye. Thank you for your attention. You will be very welcome in Bolivia, in Sucre. I will wait you, and I hope, or I'm sure that you will enjoy the visit of Sucre. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. Wonderful to see there that life is really going on as normal in Sucre. Intensely welcoming and very friendly people, the Bolivians, as you can see there as well. We're going to continue our journey through Bolivia. We're actually going to make a short side journey to a destination that's not in the Virachocha tour, but is absolutely worth mentioning as we're talking about Bolivia. And this is the desert of surrounding Uyuni and the Uyuni Salt Flats. As you can see here from this aerial view, this is the salt flat of Uyuni, but the desert stretching on beyond it, a huge, very extreme landscape, very high, over 4,000 meters above sea level in many places. So you have very strong sun in the day, but very cold at night after the sun goes in. The salt flat itself covers over 10,000 square kilometers. So we're talking enormous distances here. Beyond the salt flat, you have the Atacama Desert, effectively, which connects Bolivia with the north of Chile. And you have these mineral lagoons like Laguna Verde, Laguna Colorada. As you can see here, enormous volcanoes in the background. It's possible to see Andean flamingos in some of these mineral lakes. This is, you know, a red lake which is colored by iron minerals. And this, for example, is what they call the stone tree. It's literally a large stone that's been worn away and whittled down by wind and sand being blown across it. So incredible otherworldly landscape here. Then coming back to the salt flats, you've really got this sort of white crust of salt, literally for as far as the eye can see, sometimes even melding with the clouds, so you can't even work out where the horizon is. Sometimes you can see the outlines of enormous mountains and volcanoes on the edge of the salt flats. Just an incredible natural landscape to visit. There are some hotels on and around the salt flats, such as these luxury domes, which actually sit on these little platforms right on top of the salt itself, where there's very comfortable accommodation, and there are some hotels that are built just around the edges of the salt flat as well. We're going to go live now to our guide in Uyuni, Jorge, who's going to show us a little bit of one of those hotels and also show us the view live from the salt flat there right now. Hello, Jorge.
Hello. Hello, good morning. I'm a guy of Veloso Tours in Uyuni, Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. Yeah, right now in this case, I want to show you a little bit about my country, a little bit about the Uyuni Salt Flat. Yeah, I'm right now nearby. I'm right now between the Salt Flat. If you see, I'm a turn to the left. To the left is the Salt Flat. We have a lovely day right now. The sky is completely blue. To the right, there is one of the exotic Salt Hotel. Yeah, right now we are going to walk a little bit. We are going to visit the Salt Hotel. I will show you part of the Salt Hotel. So the Salt Hotel, as you can see, right now it's in the middle of nowhere. It's near to the Salt Flat, and the Salt Hotel is one of the most comfortable, warm, and lovely Salt Hotel. Salt Hotel and the Salt Hotel were built with salt blocks. Yeah, so right now we're going to visit inside. Look at. So these staff are so lovely. Look at, this is the Salt Hotel. It's very nice, very warm. To the right, you could appreciate, you could see, yeah, it's completely made of salt. Look at the wool, and I will show you also. Yeah, and also a little bit to the right, left, there is the dining room. Is the Salt Hotel is completely made of salt. Yeah, and also you could, you have the common area where you could take something warm, something hot for enjoy. Look at, yeah, we are going to move a little bit to the right. Look at, to the right, there is a chimney. So this whole hotel, it has in each places the heater, the chimneys, and also, yeah, I wanna move a little bit more for show you one of the most comfortable rooms there is here. Yeah. So right now we're going to visit one room. Look at this. This is the Salt Hotel. It's completely made of salt, but of course look like it's snow, but it does not snow. This is salt. Yeah, it's completely salt. The most interesting construction here. Look at this. Wow, this is the Salt Hotel. The roofs are made of salt blocks. It's look like from like a glue. Yeah, it's very nice. So the hotel has also heaters, so there is a places to enjoy outside. Look at, we have access. Look at that sky blue. Yeah, so this is the Salt Hotel. Yeah, so right now we are going to continue, and I'm gonna ride a car. We are going to the entrance to the Salt Flat. I want to show you the entrance to the Salt Flat, the surface. So we walking, and also in this area you could appreciate some pictures, some photos of the main attractive places there is in this area, like Laguna Colorada, for example. Look at there, Laguna Colorada, Green Lagoon, and also Salvador Dali Desert, the geysers, the fumarolas. Yeah, look at this place. It's very, very lovely, warm. Look at, it's really nice. Yeah, we're going to ride a car. The car is waiting for us. We're going to drive a couple minutes. Yeah, we're going to move. And we're going to drive in to the Salt Flat. Yeah, the Salt Flat is near to the Salt Hotel. From the near to the Salt Hotel, you could enjoy the sunset, and also you can enjoy hard because the salt flat, one of the salt flats around the Molas are considered the most clean in the sky for enjoy the Milky Way. Yeah.
We might be experiencing some connection difficulties with Jorge. Can you hear us, Jorge? We can't hear you anymore. Looks like Jorge has frozen a little bit. Let's see if he comes back.
Yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, in this area, the semi-desert area, there is a local people, and those people, they have a farm. They could produce quinoa. You know, the quinoa is one of the most healthy grain, and also we have different qualities of the quinoa. And also in this area, the people, they have llamas. We could enjoy the llamas around this area, the vicuñas, the wildlife, and around of the Laguna Colorada, Laguna Verde, another little lagoons, we could see the flamingos. Yeah, and the flamingos are so close. Sometimes you could see like a 1 meter, like a 2 meters. And always the weather's condition here is lovely, sunny, and the sky is completely blue. Yeah. Yeah, we are close to the entrance to the sofa. A little bit. It's nice road. Yeah, we have a look at. Can you see on the distance? It's a one line white. Yeah, that's the salt flat. To the right, left, we could see to the part of the salt flat. That's the end of the salt flat. Yeah. And further, there is a mountains. Those mountains are the part of the Andes. Those are the Occidental range, volcanic range. Yeah, in those places there is a volcanoes, are dormant volcanoes, sleeping volcanoes, semi-active volcanoes. Wow, look at that. Look at that, look at that. We are close to the salt flat. Look at the contrast, brown and white. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get off the car right now. I will show you the salt flat. Look at this. It looks like I told you like it's no, but let me try, okay? I'm gonna try for this sure if it's salt or if it's snow. Yeah, definitely it's salt, and it's really salty. That's really salty. Look at this. This is the surface of the salt flat. The most biggest salt flats in the world. Look at around here, just there is a salt, everywhere salt. Right now I am in the middle of nowhere, no people, no traffic. Just you have to come here for enjoy this area. Yeah. So my name is George. I am a local guy of Uyuni Salt Flat. I'm work for Veloso Tours. We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you with open arms, open heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jorge. Amazing to see there that landscape. And actually, once you've spent the day out there in the baking heat, but the cold wind going past, when you get back to that Palacio de Sal hotel, it's like nothing you've ever seen before. You're so grateful to be inside a nice, warm, comfortable environment after being out in that extreme high altitude desert. Definitely one of the top experiences in South America. Totally unique landscape there. We're going to move on now the next stop on our itinerary. From the south of Bolivia, we fly to the north to La Paz, which is the capital, the administrative capital of Bolivia. And La Paz is also set up high in the mountains. We're going to spend 2 nights in La Paz, set in, as you can see here, a natural bowl among the mountains. Again, a stunning natural surroundings and scenery. It's high in the mountains, but on a slope, so the highest part is at about 4,000 meters above sea level, and the lowest part about 3,500. So quite a difference between the high side and the low side. It's a very old city, very intensely historic city with wonderful colonial buildings in the old center. As you can see here, this is part of the government palace. Wonderful old sort of cobblestone streets. Here you can see part of the university and some of the students. But it's also got a very modern side. There are some small skyscrapers in the downtown area with excellent hotels. For example, you can see on the right-hand side here, one of the hotel swimming pools. But also a modern Bolivian style. These are what are called cholets. They are the Bolivian traditions translated into modern architecture that you can see with these symmetrical weaving shapes, very bright colors that are traditional in Bolivian and Aymara culture, and these you can make a detour to visit also on as part of the city tour if you're interested. The culture is very strongly influenced still by traditions and traditional beliefs. Here you can see some of the weavings, the jumpers that have been made in these very specific Andean and Bolivian colors. And here you can see here a lady working with some woolen twine. And of course the traditional hats and ladies wearing the bowler hats, for example, and the very wide skirts. It's very common to see on the streets of La Paz as well. In the south of La Paz, I mentioned a great difference in the altitude. You also have these incredible rock formations in what's known as the Moon Valley, and there are walkways and paths through here where you can marvel at the incredible otherworldly landscape, and you can appreciate why it's known as the Moon Valley for its unusual rock formations here. We are going to go live now to 2 different guides in La Paz who are both going to give us very different perspective on the city. We're first going to hear from Gonzalo, who is there on the street in central La Paz. Hello, Gonzalo.
Hello, Nick. Thank you very much. You already said that La Paz is Bolivia's capital, not the official one, but the political capital. La Paz is also known as city of contrasts, okay? And one of these contrasts, we have a full area full of street markets, okay? One of the unmissable markets is the one I'm at right now, what we know as the Witches Market. So let me show you a little bit of this market, okay? So in Bolivia's traditions, Bolivia's culture is very rich. So we have many superstitions, lots of customs. In this market, originally, this was a natural medicine market where you can find cure for any spiritual or physical disease. The ladies are really knowledgeable about herbs, about pomades, about, you know, they also make offerings for Pachamama, Mother Earth. You can see different stuff that we offer to Pachamama. They also sell different amulets for everything. We have a lady here who shows us, this is an ekeko. Ekeko is the god of fortune that you can also ask whatever you want to reach this year. Okay, but not only this, because it's really interesting to just stroll around this street. I'll try to walk around a little bit. Besides all the mystique and all the witches, what you can find here, silver. that we have in Bolivia the biggest silver mine in the world. But not only that, you can have this. This is a semi-precious stone that is called La Bolivianita. What is special about this stone? It's a natural mix between two semi-precious stones, amethyst and citrine. Especially ladies will love it, okay? So I keep on walking and I'll try to see all these shops we have, because tomorrow is La Paz anniversary. We have some music shops, Bolivian music, and folklore is very rich. We have Oruro's Carnival, that it was named World Patrimony by UNESCO, carnivals in the world. You should attend once. If you're not able to, you can also have a glimpse of this rich folklore attending a restaurant that is called a peña. Peña, they offer a dinner show where you can enjoy Bolivian food while you're enjoying a little bit of this fascinating music and dances, traditional dances. I'll try to show you lots of stuff, but I want to stop in one shop that they make the finest alpaca garments, okay? So as you know, in Bolivia, we have the finest baby alpaca. This is the shop. Just let me cross the street. Buenas tardes. As you can see, these beautiful, colorful wings, sweaters, beanies, etc., etc. So in your next visit to La Paz, you should take one of these sweaters for your winter, right? Okay, we have in La Paz a beautiful winter day, not too cold. Actually, it's sunny. I'll try to reach one of the main plazas that we have here. Meanwhile, I should tell you that from La Paz, you can take short trips, as trip to Tiahuanacu. Tiahuanacu is an archaeological site from a pre-Inca culture. You can also take a day trip to Titicaca Lake, the highest navigable lake in the world, where you can visit Sun Island. Sun Island is the largest island on Titicaca Lake, but also birthplace of the Incas. But if you have enough of high plateau, you can also visit the subtropical area of La Paz. Not far away from here, we have the subtropical area called Yungas, where we have a very famous road, where in Bolivia we grow coffee and chocolate. Not chocolate, but cocoa beans. Then we make one of the best chocolates in the world. Okay? So, as I said, it's really fun just walking around. People minding their own business, very active. Some people enjoying some street food, some people just chatting, some other people just going to work, or coming back from work. So I'm arriving to St. Francis Church, which is one of the most important churches in La Paz. Beautiful church. It was built the same year that La Paz was founded, 1548. Look at this. To be in La Paz is an adventure. So in your next visit to La Paz, I'll be waiting for you. Just let me Say goodbye properly. I'm Gonzalo. I'm your Veloso tour guide. I'm waiting for you. Looking forward to see you here. Come visit us. Bye. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Gonzalo. Good to see the welcoming people on the streets of La Paz and local life very much going on as normal. We're now actually going to go straight to another of our guides in La Paz, who's going to show us a different perspective on the city and their rather unusual transportation system. Hello, Alan. Alan, come in.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Yeah? Good.
Yes.
So, hello, we are now in the one of the most important places in Latin America. And she is going to tell you.
Buenos días, saludos para Veloso en Londres. Bienvenidos a La Paz, Bolivia.
Very good. She is a Cholita, a lady, what is a symbol of Bolivian enjoyable culture. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. So, like friends, can you hear me, brothers, sisters of all Europe? Well, one thing that we need to know is that Bolivia is one of the multicultural countries in the world. So now I will show you how good is the country. This is where we are now, in a place of the purple color that is the highest and the fastest cable car in the world, what is the best aerial public transportation right now in all Latin America. This is El Alto city. This is one of the active cities. Well, minutes ago, sorry, we'll move it. It was the president promoting the vaccination over there. Yeah, now the stage is now getting out, but you'll see the city is very active. And now we are going to go straight to the place in where it's possible to have a great experience. Can you hear? Well, you see, we have the Aymara ladies here, like our friend who was there. And we'll go to take, I already bought my ticket in this best transportation. Here we go. Hola, amigo. Buenos días. Buenas tardes, yeah. Good afternoon. Thank you. Gracias. So, we will board with the help of these assistants. And, well, by the way, we're gonna board this one. And you can see the sign of the Teleferico here. And we say buenos días a nuestros amigos. Buenas tardes, ¿cómo están? Buenas tardes. Mando un saludo a Inglaterra, Londres. Buenas tardes, estamos transmitiendo en directo. We're online. So now, one of the surprises that I want to get.
We're just losing Alan for a moment, but I think he's going to come back because this has worked before. Alan, we can't hear you, unfortunately. Alan, are you coming back? We'd love to see what you're seeing.
You is to count.
Alan, have we lost?
Hello, hello.
Alan, hello, yes. We lost you for a moment there.
Yes, but you can see this place. This is La Paz City right now. And sorry, but you can see how far we get down. Yoo-hoo! So the cable car is one of the best aerial transportations of the world and can join two cities. El Alto, what is over there, this is the station where we board the cable car. And this is a bit of the houses done
Alan, can you just reorientate your camera? We're stuck on the side for some reason. Can you try moving it vertical and back to horizontal?
Okay, I'll do. Vertical.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There we go. Thank you.
There we go. Good. Thank you. Thank you so much. As you can see, this is one of the places where we have a viewpoints in the city. And from here, we can see the intimity also of some neighbors. Over there, it's not so clear, but you get the stadiums that we have spread all the place around. And you have here one of 160 cabins for the public transportation. Easy, big, very calm and beautiful. Look, the blue sky and all the scenery to reach this place. It's possible to see all the houses around here. So we have approximately 1,372 stations, and in the first month when it was inaugurated, that it was in April of 2014, type of adventure. According to it says that it's nominated and it was public transportation of the world. You can see the downtown here, this hoods, and you can extend the city up and like my friend. So you can get another view from here. Look at how quiet is the place and safe. We domain all the place, and you really see houses now. We can see how people built in these slopes in a place that is so united with the jungle, the snow-capped mountains, and well, like my friend was talking before, La Paz's curiosity is not the capital of Bolivia, is the administrative center. And in here we have Aymaras and Quechuas living together. And we can speak in Bolivia about 36 official languages. It's one of the countries. In 2017, Bolivia was, we obtained the award to be the best destination, cultural destination of the world. And also we were nominated for other awards like the best natural destination. We were nominated like one of the most beautiful cities. And we won in La Paz the award to be like the one of the 7 wonder cities of the world, with Havana, Cuba, with other ones in Latin America and in the world. So you can see the garages, we can have an adventure, and we can do this adventure. Well, I hope you enjoy it. This is the quicker way to go down La Paz City. And I am Alan. We are from Veloso. We are waiting for you. Don't forget to visit this city and Bolivia, because it's an adventure that you will never forget it. Thank you so much. See you later.
Thank you so much, Alan. What an amazing perspective on the city. Every time I see that view, it just absolutely gets me, and must be surely one of the great experiences of world travel, to take the cable car from the top there right down to the bottom to see right over the city. And as we've seen there also, Bolivians incredibly friendly and welcoming people, again ready to welcome you on your next trip. We're going to continue our journey now. Here's a picture of the cable car and the snow-capped mountains in the background. We are going to continue our journey across the Altiplano to Lake Titicaca, and a place that Gonzalo mentioned just now, Sun Island, the largest island on Lake Titicaca, which is the world's highest navigable lake. Lake Titicaca is an enormous lake, and you have boats that crisscross it, and that is the way that you reach Sun Island by boat from the shore of the lake across, taking approximately 1 hour to get to the island. There are no cars on the island, so it's hiking all the way. Some of the paths are a little bit steep, but you will have a mule to carry your luggage, so you only have to get yourself up to the top of the hill. But as you can see here, stunning views over the lake to some of the other islands as well. It's possible to meet locals who are rearing their llamas and alpacas on the sides of the hills. And on your way up there, you would stop and have a lovely lunch overlooking the lake and the scenery and the mountains beyond. There are a number of ruins on the island that it's possible to visit on some of your hikes. And what you would do at the end of the day is you arrive at La Estancia Eco Lodge, which is a relatively small, quite simple, but incredibly comfortable eco lodge, situated on top of the hill effectively, with just stunning views all around the lake and the mountains in the distance. As you can see here, very simple but comfortable accommodation with everything you need for a one-night stay. The following day, we take the boat back to the lake shore and continue skirting the lake around to the border crossing with Peru. And crossing into Peru, we continue by road to the town of Puno, which is located also on the lake shore. There are a number of different islands off the shore of Puno, which you can visit, and of course have lovely picnics on the hills overlooking the lake, as you can see here, meeting and seeing local people, their local way of life, lots of subsistence farming, as you can see here, and people really continuing with their own traditions as well, with their traditional dress, for example, and traditional weavings. Here you can visit the home of some weavers, and possibly even go to the local markets to see how people barter goods for other goods, the ladies here doing the business. Moving on from Puno and Lake Titicaca, we continue the journey through into southern Peru, and we're heading for the Sacred Valley. And the way that we get there is on a full day train journey that goes across the Altiplano, starting by the lake and then going through the mountains to reach Cusco. This wonderful luxury train has very comfortable seating. It's a full day trip. Each seat with a table in front of it, so that you have lunch and afternoon tea served at your seat. Wonderful large windows, as you can see here, to watch the landscape as it goes past, and just appreciating the high mountain landscape, small farms and rural villages that you might pass, and just marveling at this wonderful mountain landscape of the southern Peruvian Andes. So arriving in the evening at Cusco, we transfer directly down into the Sacred Valley, where we spend 2 nights. And you can see here a map of the Sacred Valley with Cusco down in the right-hand side, right-hand corner. The green part that goes through the middle of this map is the valley floor, where the Urubamba River flows, and that's what carves out the valley. But you can see from the topography here the very high mountains that you have really all around the valley, so incredible mountain landscape throughout this area. And as you can see, a number of different towns peppered around the valley, with a huge number of archaeological sites to visit as well, so lots and lots to see and do during your time in the valley, such as visiting the Morai Inca Crop Laboratory or the pre-Inca salt pans at Maras. There's wonderful walking and hiking to be done throughout the farms and rural areas. Very green here in the floor of the valley, as you can see, with high mountains surrounding. It's possible to do horse riding, and not uncommon to see local ceramics on offer as well by the roadside. Lots of communities, traditional communities in the valley as well, and the little towns that surround it. And it's possible to see locals weaving by hand using the traditional backstrap loom. And here on the right hand side you can see some local ladies in their traditional dress, still very much carrying on with their ancient traditions and selling some of their woven textiles and wares there as well. So, having spent 2 nights in the Sacred Valley, we head up to Machu Picchu, which is surely one of the highlights of any trip to Peru. We spend 1 night at Machu Picchu. Of course, you must be familiar with the stunning ruins that you find high up in the mountains, surrounded by forest, as you can see here. There's the Urubamba River that runs through the Sacred Valley, continues to here, and you can see it there at the valley floor. And just incredible ruins and remains there. Takes a good 3 hours to hike around the ruins, so it's not just a sort of one-stop view and out again. There's plenty to hike around and see and do. And on the right hand side here, you can see a trail that leads up the mountain away from Machu Picchu, so that you can get a wider view and a panorama view of the ruins and the surrounding mountains. The way to get to Machu Picchu is by a very comfortable train, which leaves from the Sacred Valley and will take us back to Cusco after we finished, which is a couple of hours, again with lovely big windows to watch the surroundings and the mountainside as we go past. Or the other way to get there is to hike the Inca Trail, which involves 3 nights camping and almost 4 days of hiking. It's quite a tough hike, but certainly doable for people who are, relatively fit or in training, and is a wonderful experience for people who want to get a bit more active and have the achievement of hiking up there as well. Continuing back from Machu Picchu, we go to Cusco, where we're going to spend 2 nights. Cusco was the capital of the Inca Empire, but after the arrival of the Spanish became really a wonderful colonial city, but where you can find a lot of colonial buildings built on foundations of buildings built by the Incas. You see this throughout the city. Here we have the wonderful main square and the cathedral, here with the fountain in the center of the square, and lots of wonderful colonial buildings as well. As you can see here, the central courtyard of one of the larger churches. The street scenes, you have cobblestone streets all around Cusco like this, where you can really just feel the history from Inca times through to the colonial times. Again, here on the left-hand side, you can see the Inca stonework being used as foundations with colonial buildings on top. And for this reason, you really feel history is just in the atmosphere, in the air of Cusco. Outside of Cusco, you find, again, more ruins, like the fortress of Sacsayhuaman, and you can see here, just in the comparison with the size of the size of these stone blocks, some of them tens or hundreds of tons in weight, how they've been chiseled and fit together absolutely perfectly. Just the amount of knowledge and workmanship that the Incas had to work with to build these impenetrable fortresses that stand pretty strong today. Fernando is our expert local guide in Cusco. We've been working with him for some time, and we're actually going to go live to Fernando now on the street in Cusco to show us a little bit of what's going on there. Hello, Fernando.
Hello, Nick. How are you? Hello, everyone, and thanks for your time. My name is Fernando Chara. I'm a local guide here in Cusco, working for more than 20 years and with Veloso for more than 7 years. So I born here. I study here, my family lives here, and Cusco is a pretty city, as you will see when you come here. Let me show to you where I am. I am in a very pretty little plaza close to the main plaza of Cusco, just 2 blocks far from the main plaza. As you can see here, we have big restaurants in the 2nd floor. They turn these little houses in restaurants. As well, we have hotels like monastery hotels, which are 5-star hotels. This hotel has his own chapel here. A little church is still working as a church. We have another hotel over there. And the streets in Cusco, actually the walls, in Cusco are made with the stones. I mean, all those buildings are on top of Inca constructions. The streets are narrow, as you can see here, wide enough for llamas or alpacas. We have a nice museum there, as you can see, is open, right, waiting for you. We have restaurants open. We have everything ready for you. As you can see in front, we have a group of tourists. Most of the tourists now are from Peru, are national tourists, but we start to having a lot of international as well. You can see here the shops are open. Here, so another one here. Everybody's supporting the local economy. Right, they make booths, art here. When you come to Cusco, I will meet you in the airport. I will take you to the hotel. We'll rest a little bit, and then I can take you to places close to Cusco. As Nick mentioned before, Sacsayhuaman, Kenco. Next days, we will go to the Sucre Valley. We will visit Pisac, Ollantaytambo, Chinchero. And the next day, we will go to Machu Picchu, of course, by train. Well, you can see it, the nice streets. All these people are tourists here. The building, this building, is the biggest museum we have in Cusco, right? Remember, Cusco was the capital of the Incas, the biggest civilization in South America. Right? You can see all the streets, all the people. Life is coming back to the normal. People are selling as well souvenirs in the streets. Like this lady here. And we reach to the plaza. This is the main plaza of Cusco, considered as one of the most beautiful plazas in the world. I think it's in the 5 top in the list, according to the National Geographic magazine. This is the plaza, right? All these buildings, balconies are colonial, for sure more than 400 years old. And as you can see, they turn these balconies in restaurants. Some of those are bars as well. So when you come, you can sit down there. You can have lunch or dinner in one of those restaurants. You can see a lot of people. This is quite normal, even with the pandemic. We still have to use in Peru this kind of mask. We have the cathedral here, more than 5 years old here. When you come, we will visit as well this place. And in the same plaza, we have another church, the Jesus Company. Well, you can go actually to the 2nd floor of this church and enjoy the view of Cusco Plaza. We have all around Peruvian flags because this year we're celebrating 200 years of our independence. So it's quite mandatory in Cusco to put the flags everywhere. You can see the beautiful plaza, a lot of people taking pictures. You can see the statue of a king on top. Of course, it's no gold, looks like, but no gold. A lot of tourists, flags, bar, people working, like taking pictures to the tourists. Beautiful cecropia trees as well in the plaza. And people just relaxing, having fun. This is the weather normally in Cusco. Even in the rainy season, we have these beautiful blue skies, sunny days. Now the people start to put in outside to the restaurant tables or chairs some people can eat outside to the restaurants. We pass quickly. Drivers as well are very polite in Cusco. Have another shop here. You see, tourists taking pictures. This wall was part of a palace. You can see the quality of the wall. In the other side, we have the Spanish construction here. One more time, very narrow streets. Great. Let me take you a little more. Well, people in Cusco are very friendly, are nice people. Cusco is a very safe city. Everything is ready. Everything is waiting for you, right? And let me take you to this little part, which is very nice. And we have this courtyard here. We have beautiful animals. All of them are friends. The alpacas. There's a lot of shops actually here. As you can see the little alpacas here. We have llamas, and you can see those kind of animals all over around to Cusco in the streets. Ladies are walking with those animals. We have a king here. Oh, looks like the king. This is probably how the king looks like in Inca time. I invite you to come and visit Cusco. We're ready. We're waiting for you. This is Fernando Chara waiting for you and have this great adventure. Goodbye.
Thanks, Fernando. Good to see there things again going back to normal as everywhere on the streets of Cusco, and really, you know, appreciating how much of this unique blend of Inca civilization with the Spanish colonial effects you can experience in Cusco. It really does permeate the whole city, and you see it on the streets and in the squares and everything else. Absolutely unique destination and place to visit, which is of course why it's so popular. We're going to move on now. The next stop on our journey is Lima, which is the capital of Peru. Short flight away from Cusco. And we spent one night in Lima. Peru, of course, Lima is the capital of Peru, as I said, intensely historic city, one of the oldest cities in the Americas, the seat of the viceroys, for example, and you have a lot of wonderful historic architecture, as we'll see in a moment. But you also have the modern district, the oceanside district of Miraflores that you can see here, where there are a number of excellent hotels, but also restaurants as well. We'll see a little bit more of Miraflores shortly. The historic side, as I mentioned, you have these wonderful ornate buildings with the carved balconies, some in wood, some in metal, as you can see here. Also excellent museums. This particular museum, one of my favorite, the Larco Herrera, displays thousands of years of Peruvian history, not just showing us about the Incas, but also the pre-Inca civilizations which existed throughout Peru, and really show us that there's a lot more to Peru than just the Incas, and you're really only scratching the surface unless you visit all the different parts of Peru, including the north. So definitely worthwhile visiting the Larco Herrera Museum as part of your stay in Lima. There are also excellent restaurants with cutting edge and high class cuisine, fusion with, for example, Asian influences, bringing modern techniques and other influences to traditional dishes in Peru. This cafe restaurant that you can see on the left-hand side is actually attached to the Larco Herrera Museum, and so after learning about the thousands of years of Peruvian civilization, you can stop and have an excellent lunch as well. Marvin is our expert local guide in Lima, and we are actually going to go to him live now and see a little bit of what's happening there on the street in Lima and see what local life is like there. Hello, Marvin.
Hello, Nick. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Well, my name is Marvin Abanto. I'm an official tour guide, and I've been working with Veloso for 8 years now. And in this afternoon, I have the honor to show you a small part of my city. You know, after you arrive to the international airport, Jorge Chavez, we drive by a beautiful road called Costa Verde that goes along the Pacific Ocean, like the picture you show. And we come here to Miraflores, to the south part of the city. I'm located here right now. I would like to show you the main plaza, the main park of Miraflores, the Kennedy Park, full of green areas, colorful flowers, many people walking. Now, you know, in the last year, the world has changed a lot, and Lima was not the exception. You know that Lima, as you said, is the capital, but also at the same time is the biggest city that we have. So right now we're in the process of changing the public transportation. All the buses in a couple of years will work on natural gas. We have now underground parking spaces like the one you can see in front of us. And the most important way to commute is now the bike. You can see here a bike lane. The city has built bike lanes everywhere. People are going back to this beautiful and traditional way to commute, and also inexpensive way. I want to show you the bike stations that we have now everywhere in the city. You can put your bike there without problems. There's a city guard. In front of us now we have the town hall of Miraflores. You know that in Lima we have 43 districts. So each district has one of these. But in my opinion, this is one of the most beautiful ones. The mayor of Miraflores works here. You can see people cleaning, people taking pictures, friends. There's a lady with her baby. So the city is alive again. Everywhere you go, you see people, you have business. Look at the church, this beautiful church called Virgen Milagrosa, built in the 30s. Right now it's closed because, you know, the service starts very early usually. Now, this is a special month for us. We call it the month of Peru because we celebrate our Independence Day on July 28th. So the city is dressed now with red and white flowers everywhere. Also, we put our flags outside of our houses. Those are the colors of our flag. Let me see what can I find here. Now, for example, if you didn't clean your shoes this morning, maybe you forgot to do it, you have professional shoe shiners here with an assigned seat. There is an official rate too. Más tardecito, pero ¿cuánto cuesta? 5 soles. Ahorita estoy haciendo un videito, pues. Termino y regreso. ¿Ya? 5 soles, you get a cushion, and you get a newspaper, a traditional newspaper. Some reporters here. There are some murals. Local art has become something very trendy here in Lima. We have professional, like real graffitis in assigned walls that artists can do. Murals like this everywhere, Barranco, Miraflores, in the historical center. Look, friends hanging out. So the city is alive again. As you said, Nick, if they want to come to Lima, our customers, we have the opportunity to visit the best restaurants. We have the worldwide, a world-class museum. We have the La Carrera Museum. It's in one of the, it's located in the top 30 in the world. We have cafes. We have restaurants. We have the Pisco Museum. If customers want to go, we can do it. We have chocolate museum, because we also grow cocoa here, like in Bolivia. If they want to go to the ocean, we can do it. Look at the new bus. So Lima is also ready to get everyone from the world, everyone that wants to get fun, to get a lot of knowledge about the Incas, the pre-Incas. Please come and visit us. Thank you.
Thanks, Marvin. Great to see there what's going on in Lima, and the fact that, you know, with these new bicycle lanes, they're taking the opportunity there not just to go back to normal, but to improve the city and make them the city better and stronger for the future and future generations. So it just goes to show that you know, all the things that they're doing in Peru to build for the future. Lima is the last stop on the Virachocha tour. However, we're going to take one more stop to nearby Ecuador because it's absolutely worthwhile extending the trip to go up to Ecuador and Quito and beyond because they're right next door and there's so much to offer there. So just a short flight, as you can see here, from Lima up to Quito. Here's an add-on. Again, another wonderful colonial city with colonial centers. You can see here wonderful, wonderfully maintained and restored colonial buildings with churches, shops, old houses, etc. Here you can see the inside of one of the churches, absolutely decked out in gold, very Baroque design. Through Ecuador, Ecuador means equator, the equator runs right through it, and just outside of Quito it's possible to visit this, the Equator Monument. You can see the yellow line on the bottom here, which is the exact line of the equator, and just next door to it there's a small museum that explains how it was finally decided exactly where the equator runs. But there's so much more to Ecuador than just Quito. You have the Avenue of Volcanoes that runs through the country. Again, it's an Andean country, and here you can see the enormous snow-capped Cotopaxi and surrounding national park, and cloud forest here at Mindo and Bay Vista, where there's some excellent lodges, and very good to see birds and wildlife, for example. You've got the Amazon rainforest, just the other side of the Andes, to the east towards Brazil. You've got lush tropical rainforest, and there are some excellent lodges there, like the Napa Wildlife Center that you can see here. And of course, very well known for the Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos Islands lie about 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador. Quito is the jumping off point to get there, and of course very well known for their wildlife. You can see here a family congregating around one of these blue-footed boobies because it's an excellent family destination as well. And here the wonderful sea lions on the beaches of one of the many islands. So much wildlife here, endemic to each different island, so worth visiting a number of them, possibly on an expedition cruise, for example. And you can talk to us or see our website for more details on those. Here are some of the marine iguanas, for example, very sort of dragon, almost dinosaur-like, that congregate around the beaches and the edges of the water. Mauricio is one of our expert local guides in Ecuador. He's based in Quito, and actually we're going to go live to Mauricio now to show us a little bit about what's happening on the streets in Ecuador and particularly Quito. Hello, Mauricio. Mauricio, come in.
Hello, hello. Just a minute. I'm just turning the camera. Well, hello. Sorry. Okay, I'm Mauricio. I've been guiding over 30 years with Veloso, which they have incredible personalized service. And we're going to have just a little kind of sample of what's life in Quito. To begin with, we can see this incredible place, okay? I'm going to turn the camera. And you can see some of the many old buildings that we have here in Quito. You can see people having their life. I have to tell you proudly that Ecuador right now it's rated as the world's first country with highly vaccinated people, with an average of over 200,000 people. Restaurants, as we can see it. Quito located at 9,300 feet, that's over 2,800 meters. It's a unique place to appreciate the art. Well, we're getting to the main square of the city, the so-called Independence Square. And right now you don't see too many people because right now there's a visit. So I kind of sneaking through here, but you can see in other areas, life goes on. Then we have the cathedral dating back from the 1500s, the monument of independence. We can see on the other side with a clear French influence, the presidential building. I don't know if you can spot at the distance, the presidential guards with a clear Prussian style. And Quito, it's also a place from here, you can go to the Galapagos cruises, you can go to the highlands, daily markets, cloud forest, volcanoes, amazing places to visit. Look at this, Hotel Plaza Grande. And we continue through this part in order to see something that is really breathtaking. In the background, you can see another hill of the city, which is called Panecillo, which in Spanish it means the bread roll, with the statue of Virgin Mary on the top. Here we see the restaurants in the old part of the city too. Churches, 87 churches all around. I'm talking about only the old quarter, which by the way was the world's first heritage mankind declared in 1978. The characteristic of this church is gold gilded, great amounts of gold. And just to appreciate stonework, amazing work. And that is why Quito, it is 3 most important sites of colonial art. They're having a mass service. So I just get out quickly. Look at this, all gold gilded. This was the first university, one of the first universities of the city. Now it's a city hall or part of the municipality. And we can see in the background that beautiful, very Parisian style building, former headquarters of a local bank, later became the Central Bank of Ecuador, and nowadays the Numismatic Museum. Now you can appreciate much better the statue of Virgin Mary on the top. And Quito, definitely, it's a place where also you can go to the rainforest. You can have many museums, many restaurants that are open and waiting for you too. And this is one of the highlights that you must not miss ever when you come to Quito. Look at this church. Consider one of the richest in the entire planet, La Compañía de Jesús. This church is an amazing, with all of them, with the security and washing hands and everything, as we have a lot of that precaution. Look at this church. Everything gold gilded. The masterpiece of Quito's art. And clearly Moorish influenced. Not to see this church while in Quito, it's a total loss. The paintings, the sculpture, the work that it has, it's an amazing, amazing work that you can spend not minutes, hours, appreciating the beauty of this church. Society of Jesus, or in Spanish, La Compañía de Jesús. There you have also a view, or a night view of the city, and some of the beautiful old buildings. Beautiful houses with a clear Italian, French influence. And you can hear even music. And people just wandering around. So we're waiting for you to come over and enjoy Ecuador, our different cities, our different areas, national parks, which is an entrance of Quito. At the end, the arch. And just a little sample of what's Quito. Behind me, just before I say goodbye, you can see the Arch of the Queen in honor to Virgin Mary. So I hope you enjoy this little visit and hope to see you very soon with all the things we have to offer in this country. So as we say, hasta luego, have a great time. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Mauricio. What a wonderful journey across South America. So many different things to see. So much variety. We're really excited, always more, always different things. Obviously, in these cases, you need a certain stamina and you need the time. But many people have the time. And if you do have the time, the incremental cost of additional nights in all these places or in the places that interest you more is very small in relation to the cost of the whole itinerary. This is one of the amazing things about landmark tourism and touring, is that you can stay on longer. So this is a number of suggestions that we have made in terms of duration. And here I'm going to just give you an example of some of the itineraries. As you can see here in Bolivia, we cover many of the places that we have seen. And the people in Bolivia are of Aymara origin, which is different from Peru, where it's more the Quechuas. And the Aymaras love to party and music. And it was mentioned briefly, the Pachamama, the Gran Poder, the Mother Earth, the power of Mother Earth. And they have an amazing festival in La Paz for the festival of the Gran Poder of Pachamama. And many of these houses that we saw, the cholets, have one floor, which is a floor for partying. So it's full of interesting things to admire and to discover. So this is an example of an itinerary just in Bolivia. And now for the ones that cover more than one country, as we see here, for example, more or less the route that sort of route that we took. And as I mentioned, the incremental nights of cost of additional nights is relatively small in the context of a whole trip. So if you have the time, we can adapt these itineraries for you. So another example here where you can see more of Peru and Bolivia. And here an itinerary across where you would go through the lake region of Argentina and Chile. We can even have itineraries that go around down to the south. So you can discover the itineraries. There's so many options. This one goes cross country from the Atlantic to the Pacific, but via the Amazon. And it's rather expensive, obviously, this trip, because you have a boat charter in here in the depths of the Amazon from the Tabatinga to Iquitos. Tabatinga is a town where Peru, Colombia, and Brazil meet, and that's quite an amazing journey in the Amazon. So as I mentioned now, if you would like to explore further, when you go to any itineraries, you can select a date and then download the itinerary so that you could see where you would be throughout and the number of nights, so that you would view the whole thing. So now I would like to ask my colleague Berenice to go through some of the what's the situation now with flights, although this is always evolving. So Berenice, briefly.
Thank you so much, Paolo. So hi, everyone. My name is Berenice, and I'm going to talk to you about our airlines partners, as well as the latest updates on flights to Latin America. So as you can see on the screen, Veloso Tours is preferred partners of British Airways, which means that we do have very good rates with British Airways, and they usually offer us as well a lot of flexibility. At the moment, British Airways is flying to Mexico, and flights to other destinations in Latin America should resume from October 2021, which is the good time to book holiday to Latin America, which is their summer season. So flying will be resumed for Brazil, Argentina, and Chile, and soon we will have more details about other destinations in Latin America. Another good airlines that we are using a lot, it's Iberia. They're flying daily to a lot of destinations in Latin America via Barcelona and Madrid, as you can see on the map. Another good airlines that Veloso Tours is partner with is Air France and KLM. The good thing with this airline is that they're actually flying daily from all UK regional airports. So if you want to fly from Birmingham, Glasgow, Manchester, they are flying daily via Paris and Amsterdam. And at the moment, they're flying to Mexico City, Bogota, Buenos Aires, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo in Brazil, Quito, Santiago de Chile, and Panama City as well. We do have also partners in, regional airlines within Latin America, with Copa, for example, in Central America. We also do have LATAM in South America. We have GOL, which is a good low-cost airlines available in Brazil, and we have Aerolíneas Argentina in Argentina. They do very good, international and internal flights within Argentina. We also do offer other airlines than the one that I just stated, such as Virgin for Cuba, for example, Aeromexico, TAP Portugal, Air Europa, and Avianca. What we do have to remember here briefly is that the men of the airlines are still operating to Latin America, can be a couple of times a week, but it can be also daily with Air France and KLM. Even if it's not full capacity, as before the pandemic, they are still planning to resume some flights, and especially in October 2021, which is the peak season for Latin America. It might change, therefore I invite you to really check all the details with us for any update, or if you have any question. But as a conclusion here, it is very safe to fly. All the airlines are following a very strict health and hygiene protocol, so it's even safer to fly than rather going to your local Sainsbury. So please do let us know if you have any question, and if you want to have any updates on flights, we will be happy here at Veloso Tours to reply to any question you have. So I think that's the end of our webinar. I have seen we don't have any question on the chat box. If anyone wants to say anything or wants to ask any question, you can unmute yourself and we can reply. Does anyone have any question? No, I think anyone's got questions. So I invite you to have a look on our website for any landmarks tours or any destination you might like to travel during, you know, I mean, from the peak season in Latin America, which is, you know, from our winter. You can also email us, travel@veloso.com, or call us. We open from Monday to Saturday. Paolo, Nick, if you have anything to add, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, thank you so much, everyone.
Oh, thank you very much. I think everyone did a great job. It was wonderful to have the connections. So Nick, thank you very much also. Anything else, Nick?
Pleasure to be here. Thank you to everyone for attending. Hope you've enjoyed it.
And thank you very much to all our guides. They did an amazing job here with just a few little technological hiccups. It was wonderful to come across from the Atlantic to the Pacific. It's a really wonderful experience. I always find so many different cultures and food and restaurants and landscapes. So great trip. I enjoyed traveling across. Made me feel like wanting to go back again and again. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you soon.